Hello, I want to give you the latest update on the Momentum Capital campaign as we are nearing the final week of the public campaign. This Sunday is Commitment Sunday, and as you know, the goal of this Momentum campaign is to raise $435,000. This Sunday is a big Sunday at the church in which we will celebrate Palm Sunday, and there's lots of reasons to celebrate as we begin Holy Week. And it's also the major event day for the Momentum campaign. And so, following each worship service, and there'll be special elements that happen in each worship service, but following each service, there is a meal that will be served in the fellowship hall and on the quad, and we invite you to join us for that and hope that the whole church family will gather together this Sunday. Now, the goal of $435,000 is quite a goal, and it will take not equal gifts, but equal sacrifice all across the congregation. And if all of us are willing to make an equal sacrifice, then and only then will we make our goal of $435,000. Now, last week we met together with some leaders of our congregation and we asked them to consider turning in their 2-year pledge cards a week early so that we could announce to the church what the leaders were willing to do. And 47 of our leaders and their families took us up on this invitation and they turned in their pledge cards. And those cards represented $215,700. So our leaders have really stepped out. What this means is that before we even go to the general congregation on the Commitment Sunday, our leaders have already stood up and stepped forward in this journey and said that they will cover half of all of the Momentum campaign projects. And this is tremendously exciting. And we hope that the congregation as a whole will follow the example of these leaders and step up. And there's been some great stories of ways in which families are going to do this. We know that not everyone is in a place to be able to give these kinds of gifts. But I've heard this week stories of families that were going to work an extra shift here or there and be able to make what they're willing to contribute to the campaign over the next 2 years. I've heard of families who put off a summer vacation this year and they will dedicate those funds towards Momentum. I've heard of families that have committed to give their IRS tax rebates back to the campaign. And I've heard of families who were not going to pay the extra mortgage that they've been paying the last few years, but rather the next 2 years they will dedicate that to the Momentum Capital campaign. And so these are just some of the ways in which our folks at this church are deciding to support this campaign. We hope that this week is one filled with prayer and discernment for you and your family, and that together Sunday that we make a huge commitment to this campaign and to the future of this congregation, and that in the coming weeks we will indeed celebrate that because of our sacrifice all across the congregation, that we will be able to fund over the next 2 years this $435,000 goal. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you Sunday morning.